We begin by understanding how the mind works. There are two things we need to understand: awareness and the mind. Let's define what they are. Let's define awareness as a glowing ball of light. So imagine an orb, a glowing ball of light that can float around. Let's call that awareness and put that aside. Now let's define the mind. Let's define the mind as a vast space with many different areas within it. One area of the mind is angry, hatred, jealousy, happiness, a whole bunch of different things. Your awareness, that ball of light, can actually move to any area of the mind you want it to go to. So if your awareness, this glowing ball of light, goes to the happy area of the mind, it lights up that particular area of the mind. You become conscious of being happy. Are you happy? No, you're in an area of the mind called happiness. If this ball of light goes to the angry area of the mind, it lights up that particular area of the mind. Are you angry? No, you're in an area of the mind called anger. And by using your willpower and your powers of concentration, you can actually take your awareness, this ball of light, to any area of the mind that you want to go to. And here's the most important part. Where your awareness goes, that's where your energy is flowing. So if your awareness goes to the angry area of the mind, your energy is flowing there. It's actually strengthening that particular area of the mind. This happens all day. All day we allow people and things around us to dictate where our awareness goes in our mind. And because they dictate where our awareness goes, that's where our energy flows as well. And where our energy flows is what manifests in our life. So really the goal in life is not really to control your mind, but rather to control where your awareness is going within your mind. So don't control your mind, control where your awareness goes within your mind. How do we do that? We learn the fine art of concentration. First, let's define what concentration is. I define concentration as the ability to keep your awareness on one thing for an extended period of time. Being able to do that allows me to concentrate. Most people can't concentrate for two reasons. One is they've never been taught how to concentrate. Second is they never practice concentration. How many of you had classes on concentration every single day, the same way you had classes on math and science? I travel all around the world and I ask this question and nobody puts their hand up. How many of you, when you were growing up in school, were told to concentrate? Isn't that amazing? You get told to concentrate, but you never get taught how to do it. When I was growing up, I got told to concentrate all the time. Concentrate on doing your homework. Concentrate on eating your food. Anybody want to show me how to do it? How many of you tell your kids to concentrate? Have you ever showed them how to? No, right? And then if you don't show them how to concentrate, how would they know how to do it? And then if you want to be good at something, you have to practice it. If you want to be really good at concentration, you need to practice it all day. People are good at distraction because that's what they practice all day long. It's not that they don't have the ability to concentrate. They've just practiced distraction and become really, really good at it. So how do we concentrate? We concentrate by practicing doing one thing at a time and integrating this practice into our everyday life. The other thing we need to learn to develop is our willpower. Everybody is born with various levels of willpower, but one thing we never get taught to do is to actually develop willpower. And willpower is like a muscle. I call it a mental biceps. If I could draw biceps around my mind, that would be my willpower. There are three ways to develop willpower. One, finish what you begin. Two, finish it well beyond your expectations. Three, do a little bit more than you think you're able to do. All of these three ways require effort, and that effort is willpower, right? So how do I develop willpower? I take these three methods and I apply it to things that reoccur in my life. What's something that reoccurs in my life every day? Every day I sleep. What a great opportunity to develop willpower. Before I go to sleep, I floss, I brush my teeth, I go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, I finish the process of sleep. How do I finish the process of sleep? I make the bed every day. Every day I wake up in the morning, I make the bed. What's something else that I do every day? Every day I have breakfast. If I have time to make breakfast, I have time to eat breakfast, then I have time to do the breakfast dish and put it away. So I finish the process that I began. And I bring this into everything that I do. So along with learning concentration, it's really important to also learn what to focus on. In order to do that, I need to spend time with myself each day to find out who and what's important in my life, take that finite amount of energy that I have each day, focus it into those things. That starts to manifest in my life. The byproduct of that is happiness.
This year, in February, we did our first advanced workshop, and we had people from all over the world come, and it was in Carefree, Arizona. And I brought in a team of technicians and neuroscientists, and we brought in a physicist from St. Petersburg, and I wanted to begin to measure transformation. And we measured the energy field of the room, because everybody says, oh, wow, the energy was really great in the room. Well, I wanted to see if there were physical changes taking place in the room. I wanted to measure the energy field around people's body. That if photons become excited and you begin to experience elevated emotions, emotions are just energy. And as Greg talked about, the coherence that's created from an elevated emotion broadcasts a signal into the field that is feet to meters wide. And then if we could measure all of those things, and we can consistently have people retreat from their life for 4 days to no longer return back to the same environment that reminds them of who they think they are. So for 4 days, people retreated from their world. And we started at 6 in the morning, and we went till around 6 or 7 at night. And these people were passionate about transformation. And we recorded amazing things. And I'm going to show you some of those pictures after we take a break. But it begs the question then, if your personality creates your personal reality, and you walk back into your life every single day, and you see the same people, and you go to the same places, and you do the same things at the exact same time, then it's your external environment that's turning on different circuits in your brain, causing you to think equal to everything that you know. And as long as your same environment reminds you of who you are, and you're thinking equal to your environment, then your personal reality is creating your personality. And there's a dance between the biology in your inner world and the experience in your outer world. And that tango is called karma. So then to change then is to be greater than your environment, to be greater than the conditions in your world, to be greater than the circumstances in your life. And every great person in history knew this, whether it was William Wallace or Mahatma Gandhi or Joan of Arc or Martin Luther King, the Wright brothers, to have a vision, an idea, a dream, and to begin to no longer keep doing the same things, as Greg said, because all of the adversity in our life is to initiate us into greatness. It's to call out something greater in us. And so these people retreated from their life for 4 days, and they took away the constant stimulation that reminded them of who they were long enough to change their brain and body to be ahead of their environment. And so we measured some amazing things in these people. We saw people with chronic diseases all of a sudden have normal bodies again. We've had people in our work that were diagnosed with rare genetic disorders. My thinking was, if I knew the things from the people that had spontaneous remissions that I studied, what those commonalities were, we should be able to reproduce them, right? So that's why we developed the model of transformation in our workshops. I just did what people already knew how to do and just used the science to explain it. But we had to get people to reproduce it, because anything that's repeatable is a scientific law, or verges on a scientific law. So I wanted to see if we kept doing it, if we were able to produce some type of consistent change. And we started to see some pretty amazing things take place. We did a second event in July of this year, and we partnered with HeartMath Institute, and people wore the monitors for 24 hours, and we were measuring heart coherence with brain coherence. And I'll show you some pictures of some amazing people that sustained heart coherence for hours. It became a skill. As Greg said, once you know how to do it, you know how to do it. So when we live by the hormones of stress and all of the energy goes to these hormonal centers and away from the heart, of course the heart is going to be the first organ that's starved of energy. And when we live by the hormones of stress, we will always try to force the outcome. We'll always try to push and make it happen, because we are matter trying to change matter. And one of the things I learned in studying people that did amazing things in these workshops is I watched a lady for a whole hour. I watched her brain on the scan. And her brain was working so hard. And as I watched it over and over again, watched it over and over again, watched it over and over again, the more she tried to change, the worse her brain got. And I went up to her afterwards and I said, how was that for you? And she said, I had the worst meditation of my life. And something clicked in me in that moment, and I knew that most of us, we try to use our brain to change our brain. We try to use the ego to change the ego. We try to use the program to change the program, and it only endorses it. And in that moment, something clicked, and I knew that they had to become pure consciousness. That they had to get beyond their body, get beyond their environment, and get beyond time. Because when you become pure consciousness, and we have all the biological and neurological machinery to do this, by the way, you come preloaded with everything you need. You don't need anything else.